Hi, 5th grade. We are going to work through creating our Horton Hears a Who PowerPoint project today. I am on my home computer, which has Windows 7, so opening PowerPoint will be a little different from you. You guys will have a search box in this taskbar here. You can type power in there, and then you'll see PowerPoint 2013. Or you can look through your all programs, scroll down to the M section, and then you should see Microsoft Office 2013, and in there you will find PowerPoint 2013. So opening up the blank PowerPoint is your first step. And then we need to change the paper size. So we're going to go to Design and Slide Size. We're going to change it to Standard. And that will make it the size of a sheet of paper because we're using this for posters today. Okay, next we are going to get rid of the title and subtitle boxes. So I'm going to click on the line. Oops, I made it inside. See how I have that I-beam? I actually want to click right on the line. Okay, there we go. And now I can hit backspace and that'll delete my title. Do the same thing for the subtitle box, backspace it as well. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go through the saving steps. It's going to be a little bit different for you guys with Windows 10, but the file, Save As, and Browse are all still the same. In 7 we know it was computer on the left, H drive on the right, but on Windows 10 it's called this PC on the left, and then you do your H drive on the right again. So we're going to call the file name Horton and your first name. Before you save, please do check your address bar. Your last thing up in the address bar should be an H. That's how you know you're on your H drive. And check that your file name does say Horton and your first name. And then you can save it. I think I'm just going to stick mine on my desktop right now, but you guys will be on the H drive. Okay, so now we are ready to get started. We need to get the photos I took of you in there. So we're going to go to Insert, because we know that means to put something in. Pictures. Your pictures are on your H drive. So this PC on the left, H drive on the right. And let's see, where is my H drive? There's my H drive. And there's the picture. Okay. Next we need to get rid of the background. So I'm in my Picture Tools tab. That's what this pink is telling me. And I'm going to use Remove Background. Anything in pink will be chopped off. So I need to adjust this so it's not chopping off the hand. And I'm going to bring this over to get the rest of the sleeve. Then I'm going to bring this down to the bottom. Now you can see that it's also chopping off some numbers on the shirt, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to go to Mark Areas to Keep, and I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to draw a line through what I want to keep. Okay, so that brought those numbers back. Let's keep these. Brought those numbers. Whoops, just the one. Let me get the other one still. Okay, there's both those numbers. I want the swoosh. And looks like there's a number here that got cut off. Okay, so once it looks the way you want, it's only cutting out the things you don't want. You're going to keep changes. If you find later that you need to go back into it and fix things, you can always go back to remove the background and fix it up again. Okay, I'm going to crop this down a little bit just because it makes it easier for me to work with later so that I've got some background and my picture isn't taking up the whole area. Okay, and then I'm going to hit my crop again to turn it off. And I think I'm going to make it just a hair smaller and move it over. You can kind of design it how you want. What you don't want to do though is have yourself floating in midair because that's going to look weird. So make sure that you have put yourself at the bottom of the page so you don't float. Okay, next we need to get the word art in there. I would actually probably resave before you go into the word art because we've gotten a lot done. So we're going to hit the purple floppy disk to resave, and then I can put in my word art. Insert and word art. Doesn't matter what you pick because we'll make it pretty later. The goal is to do something that you hear that starts with the same letter as your first name. So if you start with a T, Tyler hears a tomato, Tyler hears a tiger, Tyler hears a tarantula, Tyler hears a tornado. It can be something that doesn't actually talk or make noise, but it does have to start as the same letter of your first name. So let me take a look at Tyler hears a tornado. When you are doing these, I do want your name capitalized, obviously. Hears should be capitalized, your thing should be capitalized, and I want an exclamation point at the end. So I could put it across the top here. I think I'm going to put it in 2 lines. Something like that. So now to make it pretty, I'm going to go home. I'm going to pick a more fun font for it. Actually, I need to select my words. Then I can pick a more fun font. So maybe that one's pretty cool. Okay, and then I can also play with it in the drawing tools, and I can change, make sure when you're changing it in the text section, not in the shape section, because we don't want it to have any background to the shape. So I can pick colors, so maybe I want to use this eyedropper to pull out that navy color from his shirt, and I can go to my text outline and do the same and maybe pull out this red from his shirt. So I'm going to go to my eyedropper again and pull out that red for a line. Maybe I want to make it reflect, something like that. I'm going to play with that a little bit more after I have my background and I get an idea of what I want it to look like. Okay, next I need the actual tornado. So I'm going to shrink this down with my minus sign, and I'm going to pull up Google Chrome, and I'm going to look for tornado clip art. Oops. There we go. Go to my images, and let's see. Just need something simple. Now this is kind of cool with the faces on it already, because that kind of personifies it already. See any copyright marks? I don't see any. Not real high quality. I like that. Okay, so to try to get a little higher quality, I'm going to go to View Image, and then I'm going to right click, copy image, go back to my PowerPoint right here, home, and paste. Okay, and so this image has a background on it as well. So I need to go back to my picture tools and remove the background. I'm going to stretch this out. When you pick something, like if you're picking an animal like a tiger or whatever, pick something that has the whole animal on it, not like just a face. You don't want a floating face in your hand or on your shoulder. That looks awkward. So here we go. And put it into his hand. If I want, I could tilt it a little bit, and something like that. Let me go back to the clip art just to show you what I'm talking about with finding things that are the whole object. So if I were doing Tyler Hears a Tiger, and I did tiger clip art, any of these that have the entire tiger on them would be fine. I would probably not have just a face floating in there. And this one, it would be harder to get rid of the background, so it's better to pick something with a white background, because those are easy to get rid of. This would be a bad example, because if I tried, I like that it doesn't have a background. That white and gray checks means no background, but if I try to put that into my project, just move this tornado for a minute. If I try to put that into it, it's going to be just part of an object that looks weird. Okay, so let's undo all of those. Okay, so just be careful of that when you're picking your images. Okay, now I need the background of my paper. To do that, I need to right click in a background space. Now your picture is taking up most of your space. So I don't want to be right clicking on the picture, I need to be in my background. So I'm going to right click there, go to Format Background, and there's lots of different fills that you can do. So you can do just a simple solid fill where you pick a solid color to be the background. You can do a gradient fill, which is more interesting. These gradient stops you can pick the different colors on. So you can kind of rainbow it that way if you want. If you want to pick a bunch of different colors, you can adjust where your color stops are. You want to adjust something like that. You can do picture or texture fill. So there's lots of different textures you can put as your background. Just try to be looking for things that are complementary colors, that make sense with what you're doing. So yeah, I don't like that because the gray of the tornado against the gray background really isn't going to stand out. So just pick something that works for your project. Another thing you can do is patterns. So you can pick different patterns for your backgrounds. You can change the colors on your patterns and play with the different things in there. Okay. When you are happy with that, then you're just going to kind of play with things. So maybe I want to move that to its own line, get that back to lowercase. Maybe I decide I want to make that stand out a little more, so I want to make it glow or something. So just kind of play with it and get it to how you want it to look.